Twitter is not the place for your news, kids, nor is it for any form of conversation whatsoever.
Twitter is for memes and Donald Trump. Hello, welcome to Geeks and Gaijins. I'm the Gaijin John.
I'm the Geek Tom.
And welcome to the podcast where we bring you all the Japan today. All of it. At once. I've made this joke multiple times. It's still funny to me.
Yes, and once it's gone, folks. Buy today or never see it again.
Or for the multiple weeks that it stays up. But only now is it, topical. If we're actually any topical at all.
We're relevant, right? We're relevant, right, guys?
We're hip with the kids. Says the high school teacher. I just get stared at, the eyes of Japanese children going, "You're not cool, Mr. John." I'm like, I know, but I'm 23. Let me hold on to something. But that's my secret, Captain. I was never cool.
Yes, and now we're stuck here having conversations about topics regarding Japan that I don't think anyone ever really thought they needed to know, but we're going to tell them anyway.
And I have too much free time on my hands, so woo! Because it's the summer holidays. And the summer holidays means we're going to talk about the big event of the summer vacation, which most of it has been cancelled due to... But this is Obon, or Bon, if you're going to be less honorific. I'm just going to call it Bon. If you're like friends with Bon, by like, hey, Bon. And it's like, I don't know you that well. I'm Obon. Sorry. Sorry, Obon.
Please, Obon was my father's name. Just call me Bon.
Yeah. We have Bon and mostly food-related shenanigans, because Japan and food. Am I right?
No surprise if we leave John stuck in the classroom with nothing to do all day. He inevitably comes around to thinking about food.
Food. Yep, and Japan has new mystery food and food-related insults. What more could you want?
It is a silly place.
Yeah, but before we get to food, we have to work out how best to be clean for our food and prevent us contracting the virus.
I mean, I'm already busy washing my hands several times a day, covering my face with the mask, and just not touching my face. Definitely never touching my face. It's not like I do that all the time accidentally and go, oh, rats, maybe I'm infected now.
No. Well, does the governor of Osaka have a solution for you, Thomas?
Oh boy, what solution does the governor from a foreign entity have for me, and only me?
Based on a limited trial group of 41 patients with mild symptoms, gargling with diluted providone iodine 4 times a day reduces the number of those testing positive after 4 days.
I mean, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, so I feel like I shouldn't trust this, clearly. It's too fancy for me. Could you dumb it down for me, Kisabe?
Right-wing governor man says consume and gargle, buy this product to save you and your loved ones. Sir, is there any actual scientific evidence? There is one study. You do know how academic studies work, right? Nope. I read one study, so we're using it in this briefing.
Yes. I mean, initially, my thoughts to, hey, maybe you should gargle some disinfectant or something was like, well, that seems like an odd claim to make. How bad could it possibly be? And apparently, Japanese people are quite used to gargling water already, if I'm right, John?
Yeah, so I don't want to name and shame, but Japanese people do this all the time. There are a couple of people in my staff room that do it, and it's like seen as a thing. It's supposed to like be healthy. It's like supposed to stop you getting sick, which it doesn't. You just gargle with water. Apparently, it might vaguely help prevent a certain kind of infection in your upper throat, but that's it. 1, please do not listen to me and Tom about medicine because we're not doctors, but neither is the governor of Osaka.
We're going to have an idiot off to determine the fate of Japan's health in future.
On asked whether this is like a good thing to do, he said, "It's worth giving a try.
I mean,
It's a drug everyone can buy at drugstores, and it doesn't do any harm."
they probably did buy them all at drugstores, by the way. They cleared the shelves. Partly because scalpers were involved who were like, "Oh, people are buying this in droves. Let me jack up the price of it." But people were found this a very popular idea for some reason.
So much so that Meiji Holdings, the brand that make this stuff, one of their spokesmen said, and I quote, "Our product is effective at disinfecting the mouth and throat, as well as combating bad breath. We have no plans to study its effectiveness against coronavirus at this time." Because you know what? That's for that you need actual proof.
Yes, that would be interesting. But yeah, I think the general idea is this is a product that's designed this purpose. It's just not been tested for coronavirus particularly, and it's not like it's doing any damage to most people if they try it. Apart from, I think there are some vulnerable groups, including pregnant women, probably shouldn't try this. Although there was another concern raised about gargling this, which is it might produce false negative readings on coronavirus tests,
Oh
meaning that
God.
you might be infected, but because you've gargled disinfectant, it doesn't show up on the test. Which, kind of brings you around to Schrodinger's infection of, well, the test says I haven't got it, but I don't know if that's because I'm not infected or because I gargled disinfectant. I could be clean. I could not be as well. There's no way of knowing.
Okay, this is actual medicine. So it's made to be medicine and it is made to be gargled. So he's not telling you to like, this great hand wash, gargle it. No, he's not
Yeah,
being that
yeah.
insane.
He's not
But
telling you to inject bleach or anything. It's fine.
no, but it's just so concerning to just be like, oh yeah, I'm a trusted Japanese politician, basically the most powerful man politically in Osaka, to be like, yeah, you should buy this product if you want to save your family's lives. Not in as much way, but it can't not help.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because he's this particular governor. What's his name again, John? Oh, we're not mentioning it.
His name, oh, we can mention it. It's just difficult to say. Hirofumi Yoshimura,
That
or
one.
Yoshimura Hirofumi.
He's been praised for his coronavirus response so far because he's been very strict and given like specific numerical values for when he's going to reopen businesses in Osaka. And people were like, this guy's got in control. He knows what he's doing. But now we're hitting another wave and like a spike in cases just in Japan and I think in Osaka. And suddenly he's like, here, miracle cure.
Yep. And also, those numbers I said? We're sticking by those numbers. But the situation has changed. We should probably do something else. Nope, sticking by those numbers. Yeah. And he especially recommended people who have cold like symptoms and their families, as well as workers in high risk settings such as bars, restaurants, and medical and care facilities, to use the solution. It's just like, there is no proof. Oh, sorry. There is one study. It'd be like, you know what? Wearing a hat on your nose prevents coronavirus. No, wait, that does actually work. That's just a mask.
It's not a very good mask, depending on the quality of the hat.
He acted surprised that like people went out and just started like buying as much as possible. And he was
That's
like,
not a good sign.
it's like, so a quote from the article I'm reading here. Soon after Tuesday's news conference, many consumers rushed to purchase the gargle medicines, and some started reselling them at jacked up prices online, despite Yoshimura advising against such a move. Yo, everyone, if you want to survive, you should buy this, but don't buy too much of the thing that will keep you safe. Well, the thing that I'm telling you will keep you safe.
What? My word as governor of Osaka carries weight and influences other people's behavior? What? That doesn't make any sense.
To which the president of the Japan Medical Association, Toshio Nakagawa, who I am more inclined to believe than a
Hmm.
lawyer who became the governor of Osaka. So Toshio Nakagawa said, I believe there is not sufficient evidence at this point. I'm going to go
Hmm.
with him.
It reminds me of, am I the one who's out of touch? No, it is the civilians who are wrong.
Yeah, it's just Sorry, I've just read his final line, and I think it's what we should finish this section on. And all I can say is, kids, think critically. Uh, I even think that gargling with providone iodine could defeat the coronavirus, Yoshimura said. But it's still in the research phase. We can't say anything definitive.
Thank you, Yoshimura-san, for your service. Well, I mean, you'll be happy to know, John, that there will be a much larger and continued trial on the effectiveness of this medicine. That defeating coronavirus, he's using the entire population of Osaka now.
Yeah, which specifically in recent weeks has had close to the same amount of infections as Tokyo, despite having a smaller population. Oh, sorry, this is not only in Osaka is it selling out, it's selling out in Tokyo. Yay!
I mean, that's been a big thing, is that where the governor of Osaka goes, Tokyo tends to follow in the coronavirus response, is what I picked up from the articles.
Yeah, but also like the issue is then is who is properly in charge in Tokyo? Is it the government itself or the governor of Tokyo, who has specifically got quite a lot of praise at the moment because she's doing stuff, and also Abe hasn't been seen in a while.
Oh no. How long has he been gone?
There's lots of conspiracy theories that he is actually quite ill, so I don't want to actually like.
That would be very believable.
Shinzo Abe resigned his first term as prime minister allegedly due to his issues with ulcerative colitis, which is
Ooh,
not a fun disease, which he says
no.
is been cured somehow, or he's overcome the illness with the help of a new drug. Japanese government spokesmen denied once again on Tuesday. So this might be old news by the time this podcast comes out, but
Mm.
that Shinzo Abe may have been in poor health following a report in a magazine that said he had vomited blood in July.
Oh no.
And he's in absolutely no problem at all. And the chief cabinet secretary says he meets with Abe every day. Abe himself has not held any press conferences or attended parliamentary sessions for more than a month,
Oh,
despite calls for him to go like, coronavirus is an issue. So,
this is not a good time for him to be AWOL.
no.
Oh no.
Which is which I think is why so many people are listening to the governor of Osaka.
They need leadership, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I need, Thomas?
What do you need, John?
I need Mystery Pringles!
Mystery Pringles?
That subject was depressing, so we need Mystery Pringles.
What are Mystery Pringles?
So, you might not be aware, Thomas, but very occasionally in Japan an event happens in which Pringles brings out a mystery flavor.
A single mystery flavor.
The package literally says on it in katakana, Mystery Flavor.
Nice.
And this is just covered in question marks. And it's just like, what is it? And so a new one has just come out.
Ooh.
And so everyone is like, I've not managed to get my hold on any of it, but I will endeavor to do so for next week's podcast.
Gotta get them Pringles, John.
Yes. So examples of the last few mystery flavors have been party chicken, green
Huh?
curry, and
Oh.
takoyaki.
What is party chicken exactly?
So, okay, so these are some, I will go through some crazy Pringles flavors that were available in Japan and probably aren't anymore. But some flavors they have had include New York cheeseburger,
Oh.
green curry, eggs Benedict,
Ah.
Brazilian chili and lime.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's fried chicken and it's called party chicken because it was like released around New Year.
Okay, fine. That works for me.
Also, 2016, they released mushroom soup flavor.
Huh. Okay.
You also have pizza toast.
Sorry, what?
Pizza toast,
No, you can't just skip past this. What is pizza toast?
a tasty offering filled with the flavors of tomato and cheese. It's just tomato and cheese, Thomas.
Okay, if you say so.
And then Manhattan clam chowder,
Huh.
which is strange because I swear clam chowder is from Massachusetts. But anyway,
Do you think they know? Do you think they know any more than we
I
do?
don't think they care. Uh, Brazilian grilled steak, pizza toast again,
More pizza toast. Apparently, it's popular.
4 cheeses, or they did as quattro format. Oh, they said quattro cheese. So
Huh.
it's not quattro formaggio, it's quattro cheese. Mexican salsa and Hawaiian barbecue, not in the same one.
Oh.
Then, of course, takoyaki, which is the fried octopus balls, which are very famous street food.
hmm
And yeah, wasabi and nori, jalapeno and onion.
I think you might have just made a Mexican cry. I'm not sure.
Well, but there's also mayonnaise and cheese flavored Pringles.
Why? That's not a combination I've ever heard of before, but maybe I'm missing out.
Okay, so I know you want to know the theories of what is this new flavor.
Our people have already been trying it out and speculating, have they?
Yes, exactly. So,
Let's dive into the wild random Pringle speculation, John. Let's do it.
so this is a quote from Sora News 24, one of my favorite sources. And their quote says it tastes a lot like soy sauce with a bit of smokiness and like it's a kind of recognizable flavor, and they're speculating like yakitori chicken, so like Japanese like fried on a charcoal or like grill fried chicken with like maybe a
Ooh,
sweet sauce.
that would
So
be
like
nice.
yeah, so like chicken skewer flavored Pringles.
Okay, that could be good. When did they announce officially what flavor it was? Like at the end of its run?
I have no clue, and I will endeavor to do so. Ooh, no, that's last year's. Last year's reveal was Korean barbecue.
Well, we'll wait with bated breath for John's review of the mystery Pringles for 2020, I guess. And then we'll have to wait another few months or something for Pringles to officially announce what it was. Keep in tune for the Mystery Pringle trilogy only on the Geeks and Gaijins podcast.
I mean, you've got to get in there, and it might not have its own Pringle, but now it's time for snack break.
How do we top Mystery Pringles on what you're actually eating this week, John? What do you have in
No,
store for us?
it's not as exciting as Mystery Pringles. It's not as exciting even as like the cheese chocolate from last week. Though
I mean,
cheese,
how do you top cheese chocolate, really?
I just have a cheese bun. It's just called a cheese, just called like a cheese bun or cheese. Sorry, it's a cheese roll. I'm being much too British about things.
What kind of cheese is on the roll if we were going to get like serious British review here? Is it like American cheese? Is it
So it seems a sprinkling of like parmesan and stuff on top, with like maybe mozzarella insides. There's like 3 holes on the top with like mozzarella like poking out, and I'm not sure. You can find these pictures usually on the Gaijin John Instagram when I remember to upload them, which I don't usually. And so this is available. I bought this from 7-Eleven. So this is a 7-Eleven cheese roll. You can also find the picture of it on sitting on top of my Conan mug, filled with beautiful, beautiful coffee.
Ooh, I like the look of that. That does look tasty.
It like has a weird little face, but I think it's time for me to tear the roll. Yeah. No, that's disappointing.
Is it just bread on the inside?
No, it's like, oh god. Uh, how do I best say it? It's just got it's bread, but with like weird little pockets of like very sad cream cheese, or it might be mozzarella. I don't know.
Well, I'll find out.
But like ripping it open was probably the worst thing I could do because this just looks sad.
I don't think they're designed for that, but
But ooh, what a cross section, boys and girls! Oh, that
wonderful.
that cross section.
You're right, that does look sad.
Because it's just
It
like sad, separated bits of cheese. Yeah.
mm.
Anyway, everyone at home, itadakimasu. Yeah, that's not mozzarella at all. It's cream cheese.
Oh, nice.
So the parmesan is nice. There's like a parmesan shard on top, but that's all gone now. And so it's a basic bread roll with cream cheese in bits of it. There are like three hidden areas of cream cheese that you get, and they're not hidden; they're shown on the top. But Japan loves cream cheese. Like Japan loves cheese a lot more than we know, but it's just quite that they don't love Western style cheese a lot.
They have their own cheeses?
Yeah, they kind of have. They don't like European style cheeses that much, so they do some stuff with it, but it's usually very expensive. Too expensive for the
Mm.
likes of me. If there are Japanese people out there who would like to donate cheese, my address is.
I would want to follow up and ask you what exactly makes Japanese cheese unique to Japan, but considering you haven't actually got any access to it, I feel like that would not be a valid question.
It's more that it's made in Japan, from what I know. Like, there are areas of Japan that are famous for their cows, and so they're then famous for their milk, and therefore famous for their cheese.
It sounds like a lot of places are very famous for very different foods. I imagine you can make a map of Japan just based on their most popular food
You
or their most
definitely
famous
can, but I won't do that.
food. It'd be the only way I would look at Japan ever again.
But no, to be honest, I don't know what I expected from a 7-Eleven cheese roll, but I'd give it a 6 out of cheese.
Cheese is a very high number, John. That's a kind of a sad review.
Exactly. But it's kind of like it was 130 yen for something I grabbed out of a convenience store at lunchtime, thinking I wasn't going to have lunch. Then I had lunch. I was like, well, that's the snack break then.
I'm glad you took this section of the podcast very seriously this week, John.
Yep. It's important. Snack break to me is important. This also shows you snack break is real, listeners. I don't just go out and buy weird stuff. I eat weird stuff all the time, including whatever Japan thinks a cheese roll is. Even when you want something normal, Japan will surprise you.
Nothing is spared from the Japanification beam.
Yeah, pretty much, because I think that's what to emphasize this. This is just a normal thing. It's a cheese roll. You're like, how can Japan make a cheese roll weird? They made it weird. God, they made it weird.
Doesn't even have any onion in it. How dare they?
Yep. But you know what does have onion in it?
Lots of different meals, John. That doesn't specify an awful lot.
Well, our next section does, because cheese and beef bowls also have onion in them.
Ooh, it's a very cheesy podcast. Even cheesier than usual, and boy, are we cheesy.
Oh, yeah, we cheesy. But you know what's cheesier than us?
I'm assuming it's that cheese beef thing you just mentioned.
Apparently, Japanese pro gamers.
Oh, that too.
So, this is okay. This is back. We're talking about the same guy again. I apologize. So, this is one of the top people from Sega, Toshihiro Nagoshi, who also does a lot of Yakuza stuff. This might actually just be from the same stream we talked about last time, but I didn't realize. I don't speak Japanese, so I have to wait for this stuff to get translated. They're watching on a talk show segment, Puyo Ranking Final Season 2 Tournament. Puyo Puyo is apparently a puzzle game which Sega publishes. I have no idea what it is.
Same. I had not heard of it until today. So
It seems to be. I'm going to just call it Japanese Candy Crush and wait for the angry emails.
that's how we get our interactions, is just annoy all of Japan.
When asked, is like, oh, yeah, it's good. He's like, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. And then just at the end, it looks like they eat cheese beef bowls.
Huh? What does that mean?
He thinks they look like they eat cheese beef bowls. Huh.
That's a
Well,
very specific diagnosis of these players. I don't quite understand how he came to that conclusion.
the thing is, I've worked out the English equivalent and it makes me sad.
Oh.
Because cheese beef bowls, also called cheese gyudon or chigyu, they're very popular. They're very calorific because they're seen as like comfort food. And basically, they're kind of like a geeky, like very calorific food that like the fat kid eats or like the uncool kid eat. So basically saying they look like a bunch of dorks. They look like a bunch of like absolute geeks. I bet they eat cheese beef bowls. Do you know what I think the English equivalent of it is?
Go on.
It looks like these kids love to eat chicken tendies.
Oh, no.
But it is.
Wow.
It is. It's just like
Oh, dear. That's a strange thing for a prominent figure in a gaming company to come out and say, "Is that look all these dorks?
look at all these nerds. Ha, nerd.
What a bunch of nuts."
I bet you eat food, nerd.
That's not feeling the atmosphere of the room at all. Why did they let him do this?
I have no idea. But the winner of that tournament, Tomo-kun, who is one of the youngest pro gamers in all of Japan, he is 17 years old.
Damn, son.
Yeah. And he won the tournament.
Yeah, sounds really good.
And so his response, of course, which got over 3K likes on Twitter, is him with a cheese beef bowl. Just going like, well, yeah, I won. So I'm gonna have my food. Apparently he likes it with a splash of Tabasco sauce.
Ooh, man, that just sounds delicious. God, I wish I didn't come to this podcast hungry because, oh man, everything from Pringles to beef balls, it's just, oh, it's really getting me going.
I have half a cheese roll if you'd like it.
Feel free to mail it to me, I guess. I'll eat it in 2 to 3 weeks.
Tomo-kun, I love you. He is just kind of the best.
We're here, we're cheesy, get used to it.
And just everyone's just like, he just so great. He is currently the youngest pro gamer licensed by the Japan Esports Union.
That kid's going places.
And he won a prize of 1 million yen.
Oh no.
That's about $9,500. So that's still a lot of money.
It's how long is it till he gets to make that amount of money again, though?
I have no idea. But also, as this article so lovingly puts, that's enough to buy about 2,000 cheese gyudons.
I mean, he's set for the next couple of years, obviously.
Whoa. Well, 2 years if he eats it 3 meals of every day.
Which would be a terrible idea. As much as I love the sound of it, it would not be good for you.
But maybe that's what Toshihiro Nagoshi just thinks of him. Yeah, I bet this guy doesn't just eat cheese beef bowls, but he eats it 3 times a day.
He lives the cheese beef bowls. He has become the cheese beef.
Japan has become a ghost town, Thomas.
That's a very startling thing to say, considering the current climate. Why would you say that?
No. Okay, sorry. I was trying to do a fun bit. I'm sorry. I'm reversing. I'm beep, 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 beep. I'm reversing as fast as possible. No.
The Geeks and Gaijins podcast would like to say that we do not encourage the behavior of our speaker John, and that we are going to be distancing ourselves from him in future. He does not reflect the values of this podcast.
I distanced myself from John. I hated working with him, and I'm glad we now have John 2. Much better. See, John was cancelled. We brought in John 2. He's much better.
We just did some corporate reshuffling and hope that everyone would forget about it.
Yeah, who knows? John 1 is now the one who makes my coffee.
Anyway, what were you trying to say, John, before
Yes.
you...
So, the Japanese celebration of Obon, or Bon, is here. Yay! This is very much puts equivalent to Japanese Christmas. I'm totally off my set now.
You did this to yourself. You've got no one else to blame, John.
No, I did. The point of Obon is that you spend your time with family. It's a time. It's basically one of the big 3 holiday times in Japan, along with Golden Week that we've already covered and New Year. So this is the third kind of big holiday point that people take leave from their jobs and they go spend it with their family. This is because traditionally it is a Buddhist holiday where they believe that it is the 3 days in the year in which the spirits of people's ancestors come back to Japan. So that was why there was the ghost town joke. Happy. What you're supposed to do then as a family when you get together, and lots of people still do this, is they go to clean their ancestors' graves. So you go and like, well, they're not really graves because most people are cremated in Japan, but go and like clean like their local shrines and maybe put out some flowers and things like that.
Aw.
But to put it in like a more normal perspective, it's the time that you go home to see your mum and eat way too much food.
That sounds like a good time to me. I mean, not at the moment, of course. There's going to be a lot of people not doing that this year.
Yes. So yeah. No. So many people won't be doing it. So many people won't be going home for Obon. Oh, oh,
Yeah. Now is not
yeah.
the time to be visiting your elderly relatives,
Mm.
along with most of the country also doing that.
You know what, Japan gonna go? I'm gonna just push you to the side there, Thomas, because you be talking that sense. That's not okay. That is not okay.
Fair enough, fair enough.
This is one of the main times of the year that like people see their parents and like go and do a summer thing. But it also has a weird like spiritual element to it. And it like there are different ways to celebrate it in different areas of Japan. So we're vaguely gonna do this one. And it's usually 3 days in August. Sometimes people have it earlier or later based on what calendar they use, but it's 3 days in August. This year it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th of August.
All right.
So usually there are a lot of big festivals around this time. This is the time that most local places will have their big summer festival. And so there'll usually be lots of dancing. There's specifically a kind of dance you do at Obon as a kind of like religious event to like guide the spirits on their way or to let them dance. It's
Ooh.
called the Bon Odori dance. And it's different depending on where you are. Some use fans, some use scarves. And also, like, some areas are really big on lanterns. So, lanterns that are supposed to guide your spirit either back to their graves or back to their family homes. And so you just have like these loads of big festivals, like big towns near me have like a lantern festival and lots of people like put out small lanterns or those kind of like flying lanterns or like little lanterns on like little floaty lanterns that they put on a river. But also here's one thing to know that if you're going to Japan during Obon, turns out all of Japan is celebrating Obon when Obon is happening.
I mean, this isn't immediately relevant information, but in case you go in future during these 3 days specifically, know that everyone is moving around the country all over the place.
Japan get crazy. Japan get super crazy. But yeah, you kind of wear traditional Japanese clothing if you want. You don't have to. There's lots of big festivals. Kyoto is quite famous for having its fire festival with like big.
Ooh.
They do a big fire kanji on the side of a mountain.
Dope. Oh, I need to see that one. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's generally like it's really big and people love it. But it's just kind of a bit like, oh, okay, we're doing this now, guys, are we? Yeah. And it's like it's really hard to like annoyed or sad at Obon because Obon is supposed to be a time spent with family, and even so, it makes it kind of depressing for foreigners in Japan. Because we just kind of like sit here and go, well, we don't have anything to do because Obon is also a time where so many things are closed. So it is like the proper like New Year, Christmas. Of like
Hmm.
technically, it's not a national holiday. This is the weird one. It's the main thing in Japan that's not a national holiday. But basically, everyone will request leave or go on leave. It's like the one kind of time of the year where it is like socially okay to ask for leave.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. it's a nice holiday. Because I've now been in Japan a year, I experienced Obon twice, and generally it's obviously going to be very different from family to family. So me as my gaijin self, I just kind of I sit here to the side. And they do have equivalents in like Vietnam, Korea. They have an equivalent in Korea. They have lots of them in East Asia. Some people call it equivalent to the Ghost Festival in China, which is also another one. So it feels very kind of Day of the Dead almost. They're like, this is the time that your ancestors can come and spend time with you. Woo!
Yeah, I feel it's a fairly common thread in most cultures is to have a day in celebration of ancestors. It's neat that they do this.
But you know what happens to you if you don't have a family like to celebrate their ancestors? If you're a spirit and you're sitting there, it's like, imagine you and your entire family die in a localized volcano explosion, which is just
As you
on
do.
your specific house and everyone who has ever been related to you.
That's a very specifically targeted volcano.
Yeah,
Someone's out to get you at that point.
yeah, you pissed off some spirit kami right there. But do you know what those spirits turn into?
No, I'm not familiar with Japanese
Jellyfish!
folklore. Oh, um,
Because now is also the time of year that jellyfish come to Japan's oceans.
ah,
And they're responsible for all water related like injuries and deaths. It's those
all of them.
spirits. Yep, so don't go swimming. Don't go swimming because the spirits will get you. They're also just jellyfish, but yeah.
Let's not go to the beach each. Let's just get away from the
Yeah.
water because it's dangerous.
You're also kind of like not supposed to have fun. It's supposed to kind of like be bad luck. It's supposed to be good time to spend time with your family, but you're not supposed to be focusing on other stuff. So a big thing is you're not supposed to get married around Obon. It's like, no, this is the time you spend with family. It's like you wouldn't get married on Christmas Day. I'm sure a lot of people would, but like lots
I'm
of
sure
people are
a
going to
lot
be
of
that
people would.
but lots of people are going to be like, that's weird. I'm not coming to your wedding on Christmas Day. No, no, Brian. I know we're good. Yes, we are good friends. Yes, I do like your fiance. Yes, she is very nice. No, no. I I spent Christmas with my family, Brian. It's the one time in the year I do get to spend with them. I get to see my children's faces smile. I do not want to spend it with you.
So yeah, no weddings. Don't go to the beach. Don't see your friends at all. In fact, which is actually pretty good advice for this general situation as well. That's not too bad. Just stay indoors. Don't hang out with people. Don't have a big
Remain,
party.
stay calm and remain indoors. That's a reference to a British comedy show from 10 years ago. Woo. But no,
Oh dear.
that is John's Guide to Obon. Basically, it's a thing that Japan does, and I still don't understand it.
Yes. And for all our English speaking listeners in Japan who are probably from foreign countries and don't have anyone to hang out with on Obon, John sends his condolences.
Yeah, don't worry. It's seriously like I'm going into work every day during Obon, so I get to be that guy. I'm going into work on Christmas Day, guys.
I imagine they don't even give you time and a half pay for that.
It's just a normal work day. Just a normal work day that everyone decides like at the same time they're going to take off.
That's some nonsense, for God's sake.
Welcome to Japan.
Oh dear.
And on that note, it's time to end the podcast
All right.
because we've talked about the joys of Japanese politics, food, and then John just not understanding Obon. I tried, guys. I tried.
He's doing his best.
That's debatable. But no, where can they find us, Thomas, if they like listening to our noise?
Well, for the podcast itself, we have pages pretty much everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. I also upload the podcast to YouTube if you like to listen to there. We have a Gmail account, geeksandgaijins@gmail.com, and a Twitter and Facebook account for you to contact us with if you'd like and keep up to date with what we're doing. And outside of that, we also have a Twitch channel where me and John stream some weird Japanese games that John finds and insists are good.
Yay! And also, please leave us a review on everything, like Google Maps, preferably the podcast, but you could also try and find us on Google Maps. Don't try and find my address on Google Maps. You just realized how. Don't do that.
Don't encourage that behavior, John. You are really sticking your foot in your mouth today. What is wrong with you?
I'm safe for as long as the borders are closed.
Not if they're already in the country with you.
Run.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. I'm packing
Have
my emergency kit.
Have a good week, everybody. Hope you stay safe. Have a good Obon.
Don't gargle bleach.